ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى تابعيهم ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. As we said last week, we are starting a new series or a new topic of discussion that is very relevant to our daily lives, and that is related to family matter. And we are going through Surah At-Talaq, or Surah that translates to divorce. And as we started last week, and we said that how Islam came to organize the relationship between a man and a woman, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected the rights of women and did not leave it up to men how to give that right to them or how to treat them as they wish. Because with the absence of God's commands and God's instructions throughout history, there was major oppression from men against women until nowadays. And this oppression can take many forms. One of it is physical or abuse or harm. But now the very common oppression of women in our societies nowadays is to make her a commodity, sil'a, that she can use her attractiveness and beauty to sell products. You don't see, most of the times someone wants to sell a product, they put a picture of a woman. Sometimes it has nothing to do with women. It could be tires for cars, or could be something completely for men, and they put the body of a woman as a way to attract customers. So that's one of the oppressions towards women that's nowadays happening, but it's hidden and no one's paying attention to it. But when there is a marriage and the situation is bad, it happened throughout history that men abused this relationship and abused the power they had in ending this relationship in a divorce that is not regulated. Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about us, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. You are a middle nation. Because some other groups and some other nations and some other communities, they have no divorce, period. You cannot have a divorce. You're married, you're stuck, even if you hate each other. Others, if a man dies, they kill his wife with him, as we said last week. On the other hand, there are other people and communities, they take divorce very lightly. In and out, no problem. And that is one of the dangers of relationships outside marriage. I was listening to or reading a research the other day about why they're dating and living together before marriage is not beneficial or it's harmful. And this is not a Muslim writer, someone who studied psychology and marriage and community and family relationship. They said when people date before marriage, they easily in and out, exit and enter relationships. You know, a lot of our youth ask us, why is dating haram? Why Islamically I'm not allowed to date? I'm just supposed to start a relationship if I want to get married. Because people nowadays, since young age, they got to the habit of getting into a relationship, and when they don't like it, they simply leave. If for a simple thing, could be because they found someone better. Could be because they want to try someone else, or something else. So people got to the habit of not having commitments and not holding commitments. They are boyfriend, girlfriend, sometimes they live together, and if they don't like each other, get out. That's it, easy. Some of them say, I don't want to get married because I can easily get out of this relationship. Those people who practice this, when they get married, it's very easy for them to get a divorce. Why? Because they got used to the habit of getting out of things easily. It's okay, you know what? They don't try hard. They don't think that they have to try hard. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran and in our religion, He taught us and He gave us instructions that in cases of divorce, there are certain regulations that we should follow and certain things that we should be aware of. And this is what makes marriage even better. Even if it's a hard situation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches how to deal with that situation. This surah starts by Ya ayyuhan nabi. And as we said before, there are 13 verses in the Quran that start with Ya ayyuhan nabi, O Prophet. And 2 verses in the Quran starts with Ya ayyuhar rasul. And 0 verses in the Quran starts with Ya Muhammad. So one of these verses is the beginning of Surah At-Talaq. And Surah At-Talaq is a surah Madani that was revealed later on after migration to Medina. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it or sent it after a certain incident that happened, that one of the companions divorced his wife. And before Islam, divorce was very loose. A man will divorce his wife 100 times and bring her back, no problem. Or he will leave her hanging there, and he can go marry someone else without letting her have the freedom to go marry somebody else. So it was not a good situation for women. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the rules of talaq in Surah Al-Baqarah and in Surah Al-Nisa and in Surah Al-Talaq to tell us how to handle this difficult situation, and men should not abuse women when it comes to divorce. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this companion, he divorced his wife while she was in her menstrual cycle. So the Prophet ﷺ got upset and he told him, bring her back, do not divorce her, it's not valid, and then wait until she's done with her cycle. And if you still think divorce is an answer for the situation, then divorce at that time. That's why a good percentage of scholars around the world, they say if a divorce happened during the menstrual cycle, it's not valid, it doesn't count. That's a very important thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And it makes sense actually, because most of divorce happened during that time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us, and Prophet Muhammad is teaching us, that this is not a situation that divorce should be an answer for it. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ dealt with his wife during that time of the month in a very noble way. Aisha radiallahu anha, she would say, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when that time of the month comes, when men abandon their wives, when men leave their wives and say they don't want to talk to them. And before Islam, it was that they will separate in a different house. They'll go because they consider that women in that time is not someone to be with. While the Prophet ﷺ taught us that during that time of the month, the wife needs extreme emotional support. Nowadays, many comedy shows make fun of women in this time, right? They say she's a monster. While Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as his wife says, when that time of the month comes, and the people before Islam used to abandon their wife and leave them until they are done with their cycle, the Prophet ﷺ used to show and express extreme emotional support. How? He will come and drink from my cup of water. He'll find my lips marks and he will drink exactly from the same place that I drank, telling me I'm not disgusted. If I eat a bite of food, he will put his mouth exactly on the same spot and bite from the same spot, telling me I'm not disgusted from you. Showing her extreme emotional support. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah, and the Prophet ﷺ taught the companions about the rules of divorce after this incident and after the history that people used to practice divorce in a very unregulated manner and in a very harmful way to the woman. So this is the reason of the revelation. The word talaq in Islam or in Arabic means divorce. When a man divorces his wife, we say رَجُلٌ طَلَّقَ إِمْرَأَتَهُ. When the word talaq is mentioned, it's something that people don't like to talk about, don't like to listen to. But the reason we are trying to understand and learn, because it helps us to live a good marriage. If we know how to deal in the difficult situation, we will know how to deal in the easy situations. That is one of the reasons that we're also trying to understand this surah. So inshallah, the tafsir of the first verse will start next week. And inshallah, we will go one verse. See things that are happening around us and how we can avoid them, because the horrible stories of divorce that we hear in the society are very painful. They're very, very sad. And attorneys makes most money more than anybody else when it comes to these situations. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who understand. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. Any questions?